Okay, let's dive in. There's a really significant shift happening, in the global tech world, and a lot of the focus right now, it's on Africa. Today, we're going deep on Google's, well, pretty groundbreaking $37 million investment. It's specifically aimed at powering Africa's AI future. But the big question is this just a load of cash? Or is it like a really strategic move, something that could actually position Africa as a serious competitor in AI?
That's exactly the question, and it's what we really want to unpack today. Because this investment, yeah, the number is big, but it's about how it's structured. It looks like a really planned effort to boost local talent, get some critical research going, research that's relevant on the ground, and build that essential infrastructure. The stuff Africa needs to really get going with AI. So we'll look at where the money's going, sure, but maybe more importantly, what this signals. This shift, potentially, from Africa being mainly a tech consumer to becoming a tech creator. It's a huge narrative change.
Yeah, I agree. So our mission for this deep dive is to pull apart the details of what Google's actually committed to, explore what it means in the bigger picture, and really get why this kind of investment is so vital, especially right now, for the continent's AI scene. Okay, let's get into it. So beyond just the headline number, the $37 million, what's the story here? Especially, how does it tie into that new Google AI Community Center they launched in Accra, Ghana?
Right, the Accra Center. It's really interesting because it's clearly meant to be more than just, a building with a logo. It's designed as this active, vibrant place, a hub for collaboration, for training, for actual research. And it's bringing together all sorts of different people. You've got developers, researchers, policymakers, startups, civil society folks, all focused on one thing: tailoring AI to solve Africa's specific challenges. Things like food insecurity, the huge number of languages, infrastructure gaps, public health. The idea is to build an African AI ecosystem, from the ground up, using local knowledge, local insights, not just importing solutions.
Okay, so it's about building that local capacity. And with that context, looking at how they're spending the $37 million becomes even more revealing, doesn't it? That's where you see the strategy.
Absolutely. It's broken down into four main areas, four key pillars. Each seems to have a very specific goal. First up, and it's a big chunk, is $25 million for food security and AI for good. So this money is specifically for nonprofits and researchers, people actually building AI tools to tackle food security. Think about using AI with satellite images maybe to predict crop yields better, or getting farming insights to smallholder farmers who wouldn't normally have access. Optimizing how food gets distributed, especially where things are fragile. It's not just about tech, it's potentially about, giving farmers more control, more data.
Right, empowering them directly. Makes sense. What's next?
Then there's $3 million for African language inclusion. And this is huge because language, well, it's fundamental, right, for access, for being part of the digital world. This part supports Masakan. They're a leading group working on African languages in AI. Their work is critical. They're building data sets, speech recognition, NLP models for over 40 African languages. The goal is to close that language gap. So many Africans have been left out because AI models don't understand their languages. Imagine AI tools that work in local dialects. That unlocks markets, preserves culture. It makes AI truly for Africa, not just the parts that speak English or French.
Yeah, that feels incredibly important. Okay, what else?
Next is AI training for students. Google's funding 100,000 scholarships here. In Ghana, specifically, it's for self-paced training for university and college students. And the courses sound really practical. AI and prompting essentials, which is basically learning how to talk to AI effectively.
Yeah, prompt engineering. That's a big skill now.
Exactly. Plus cybersecurity and data analytics. So it's flexible learning aimed at giving young people those skills that are needed everywhere, globally, but making it accessible right there.
Okay, skills development. And the last pillar.
The final $2 million is for research grants for African institutions. Two specific research institutions in South Africa are each getting $1 million. And this is vital for strengthening their own AI research capacity, supporting research that's led locally, that's focused on African contexts, African problems, African opportunities, making sure the research agenda isn't just set from outside.
Okay, so putting it all together, food, language skills, research, it really paints a picture. This isn't some random donation. It feels like part of a much bigger, longer-term strategy for Google on the continent. How does this fit into what they've done before, or what they might be planning?
Yeah, you've nailed it. It's not happening in isolation. You remember their Google for Startups Accelerator, AI First program.
Right, that focused on AI startups tackling African challenges.
Exactly. So this $37 million builds on that foundation. It tackles those core problems that have kind of held back Africa's AI progress.
Yeah.
We're talking gaps in infrastructure, yes, but also just access to funding. It's harder for African innovators to get the backing they need to scale things up compared to, say, Silicon Valley or Europe. So when a global player like Google steps in with this kind of money, it's crucial. It helps bridge that gap. And it sends a signal, too. Africa's AI market, they're projecting it to hit nearly $5 billion by 2025.
Wow, $4.92 billion. That's significant growth.
It is. So this investment says, look, this market isn't just growing, it's a key place for innovation. It might attract more investment, maybe help keep some of that amazing local talent from leaving.
And it's probably fair to say Google isn't the only one seeing this potential, right? We're seeing other big tech companies making moves in Africa, too.
Oh, absolutely. You mentioned Meta. Facebook, they just had a call out for African AI startups in healthcare, education, agriculture. And you've got Microsoft, IBM. They're all actively engaging with African ideas, often quite early on.
So it's becoming a bit of a race.
You could say that. It's more than just corporate social responsibility. It looks like strategic positioning. These companies are getting in early. They're helping shape the policies, build the talent pools, maybe even define the platforms that Africa's AI future will run on. It really does raise that question. As everyone rushes in, what space does that leave for uniquely African innovation to flourish on its own terms?
Which brings us back to that historical point. For a long time, Africa was often seen as, well, a place where technology developed elsewhere was simply consumed.
Right, a passive recipient. But AI feels different. It feels like a genuine chance for Africa to maybe leapfrog some of those traditional development stages. Initiatives like the Accra Center, like Massacane's language work, they're more than just tech projects. They're like powerful signals that African innovation, if it gets the funding and the focus, can lead. It can create homegrown solutions that are culturally relevant, that really understand the local context, and that could reshape things globally, not just locally. It's about communities solving their own problems with tools built for them.
So when we boil it down, maybe the biggest win here isn't just the money, the $37 million. It's about a shift in mindset, perhaps. Africa isn't just waiting anymore. It's building its own future.
I think that's a really important way to look at it. And while Google's investment is, it's a bold step, a significant one, it's still just a beginning, right? For Africa's AI future to really take off, it needs sustained effort. It needs collaboration. It needs trust between governments, universities, entrepreneurs, and these global partners. Everyone needs to be pulling in the same direction.
So, thinking about all this, what does it mean for you listening right now? The world's racing towards this AI-driven future, and it seems Africa is seriously joining that race, not just watching, but competing. So the question maybe to leave you with is, what kinds of new ideas, new innovations, uniquely African ones might emerge from this, and how could they end up changing not just the continent, but maybe technology for all of us?